And we are live.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello. I
I'm
mean, they
waving.
are live. I'm Tiltbot, but yes, nice to meet you all.
I'm also in the
No,
dark.
we're just the
While I
voices in
have
your
no
head.
camera.
There we go. So it's good to see everyone, or at least see some of us. Um, yeah, we have a fun show for you tonight as the group has gotten to Coruscant. And so we're going to be picking up there. I hope everybody's doing so good and we're in a good mood and we got good energy because we're going to have some fun tonight.
Hoorah.
So,
We're totally not splitting the party.
thought we're totally splitting the party. So, mistakes were made. Episode hasn't started, mistakes were made. So we are going to get us started. We, like I said, have two of our force sensitives, so that is going to be Kodav and Orta. I believe we wanted to go and say hi to a few people at the Jedi Temple.
There was intent to interact with the Jedi Temple.
Correct.
We needed to report.
Report shenanigans. Hand
Report
over a body.
shenanigans. Over a body. Let them know
Very,
that things didn't work out on Tatooine and we did not complete our mission.
very. I'm like, I know it's Coruscant, but I'm just like, if my non-book reading self knows anything about Star Wars lore, the temple on Coruscant is very orthodox.
That being said, before we dive right in, quick little recap. We had our band of. At this point, I don't even want to call you guys a band of adventurers. I'm calling you guys a band of misfits. Um, you had an encounter with another encounter with Wadu the Hutt. That ended in a rather disastrous fashion, leading Kodav to be saddled with the responsibility of a young life. And leading Mibble to want to mess around, I believe, with the ship AI. Did she actually remind me? Did Kidra actually let the ship AI be, or did they fix it before leaving?
Oh no, Kitra
They kept
left
the sabotage.
It is
Yeah,
still sabotaged, eh? Okay, correct.
yeah.
Okay, that's
The
what I
ship,
remembered. I just wanted to
the
make
ship
sure.
will vehemently resist anyone other than Mibble taking command.
Correct. That's what I remembered. I just didn't know if you guys had reversed that or not when you went back to grab Orta's stuff.
Nah, screw that hut.
That being said, that had led you guys to, again, instead of taking that ship, seek passage on a different vessel. And so you had done so, hopping on your new friend's. Friend is a wide word. New acquaintance's ship that you had first bumped into when you were at the Hut's viewing platform at the Bunta Eve Classic race. So, that being said, after a few complicated transitions, including getting, Nixie onto the new ship, you guys had traveled to Coruscant and landed in the upper levels of Coruscant, where again, this brings us to what we were saying earlier, to that split the party decision that was made earlier with Kodav and Orta going to the Jedi Temple, which, yes, as you said yourself, tends to be more on the orthodox side of things. As written.
Orthodox.
Orthodox, yes, exactly. We see what you did there. We approve.
Why are we doxing Orta?
I don't know. I mean, I know where he lives, but, I don't know why we're talking
That's
about
factual.
it. So how's the iceberg melting, bro?
Oh, you know,
You
very quickly at an accelerated
Right.
rate that none have ever seen before.
Right?
Sounds about right.
Alrighty. So, getting from the landing pad to the actual temple is a slightly complicated endeavor here. You don't exactly just walk down the street. For those who don't know, Coruscant is a giant planet, and the entirety of the planet is basically covered in cities, in cityscape. What that means is the planet itself is basically out of real estate, and so the only real estate that there really is up. And so over the years, the planet's city has grown, but vertically, which, long story short, means that the upper buildings are where the rich and powerful reside, with nice, wide open courtyards that have plants growing off of them, etc., etc. And the lower you go, well, the more grungy and disgusting it becomes, until even light becomes a commodity that is no longer freely obtained, as the cityscape blocks the light to the point of there needing to be permanent lighting. And then if you go even deeper than that, well, that's the planet's overall, refuse processing systems, which, well, imagine the sewers of a planet-sized city. That's all I'm going to say. So, that being said, to get to the Jedi Temple, it's like anywhere else. You guys have to kind of either take public transit, which complicated, convoluted, or you hire a hover cab, which I would assume in this particular case is probably the recommended option, honestly, if you want to go anywhere quickly. They're usually operated by droids, and while they do fly safe, and they'll get you there faster than public transit, it's not exactly the fastest way to get around. But it is definitely the fastest legal way to get around, let's call it that. So yeah, I mean, Orta, Kodav, you guys have the floor.
I guess
Are you
we're
guys
gonna
headed
get
straight to the Jedi Temple, or are you going somewhere else before? Are you taking the cab, public transit? How you guys want to get there?
Oh no, we're hiring a cab. Yeah,
Okay.
hiring a cab. We're gonna hop in,
Okay. Hundo credits, please.
head to the temple.
Okay.
Sure, I'll pay for it.
Okay.
Thanks.
That was directed at Kodav, I assume, yeah?
Yeah, Kodav will pay for it. He's got.
No, he said my thanks. I don't know if you heard him.
Oh yeah, he'll just nod his head.
Good. So yeah, this yellow, it looks like basically a deluxe hovercraft. Think a New York cab, but in the shape of a Star Wars hovercraft. It is yellow and everything, the whole 9 yards, and that's how they are. Actually, I'm not inventing this. You actually see them in one of the prequels.
Right.
It's that thing that Anakin and Obi-Wan rip the droid out of and drive around. That's yellow. If that reminds you any, I know a lot of people, for a lot of people, the prequel movies don't exist, but it's the one that they rip that droid out of and then commandeer and start flying around chasing that assassin that tried to snipe. I believe it was Padme that they tried to snap. Anyway, but yeah, they're chasing that assassin in that particular hover cab. So that's basically what pulls up for you guys. It's one of those like couped, open top, almost like sports car meets New York cab looking thing. There's a droid piloting it, of course. It pulls up next to the platform, and you guys are free to hop on board.
I'm presuming is it spacious enough where I can, bring the body bag in the back seat with me and Bonnie, and I'll just tell Orta to take the front seat.
I'm fine with that. If that works.
Yeah, I mean, if you kind of like plop it up into a pseudo sitting position, you can probably do that.
Oh yeah, we're gonna weaken that Bernie's a sucker until we get it safe.
Exactly what I was thinking of.
Okay. So yeah, you load that, you load the kid and yourselves into this thing, and I'm assuming you direct it to go to the Jedi Temple, yes?
Yep. So does the Jedi Temple on Coruscant have a main entrance only?
Um, no, like any huge building, it probably has multiple entrances. And actually, it
Then
probably has a couple of more like discrete landing pads around it as well. If you remember, actually, at the end of the prequel trilogy, again after Yoda gets his butt kicked by Palpatine, he kind of crawls into a vent and then escapes on a little platform that was off to the side of the building. So it's just to say that there's probably multiple entrance points at this point.
yeah, I don't want to go to either if they have a medical wing or a research wing because I want to go there first.
Okay. I mean, look, it's a temple. People fight with lightsabers and stuff. They probably have some form of a medical wing, and it probably has a direct like I don't want to say entry point, but a direct access for when wounded people are brought over.
Yeah,
So you could probably just drive. You could probably like tell this thing to drive you to the quote
yep.
unquote emergency medical arrival point of the temple of some kind.
That's what I will ask.
Okay. So yeah, this thing takes off, and again, you can see how high up you guys are, and this is the funny thing too, right? Since most of these vehicles are hovercrafts of some kind, um, think of like even like 18-wheelers that are basically just flying through the air, right? Um, they have dedicated basically air highways and air lanes and whatnot, so there's this constant traffic of air vehicles that are kind of merging and separating in this weird ballet, for a lack of better term, of vehicles either rising or dropping in height to access different speedways, basically, and then switching off of those speedways into smaller lanes, I guess, if you want to call them, down to decelerate and then um, connect to whichever building or point they're trying to reach. It'll probably take you, considering the distance to the spaceport and everything, it'll probably take you maybe an hour and a half to get to the Jedi Temple. But yeah, this thing successfully brings you guys to the medical arrival point of the Jedi Temple, of course, into the main Jedi Temple.
Cool. And I will hold Bonnie's hand and chuck the body bag over my other shoulder and head in that way, and tell Orta, I don't know if you want to come with me to drop this off, but you know, this has to be dropped off. It's too important to not get it done as soon as possible.
If you'd like, I could head over to start discussing about what happened on Tatooine first, whilst you do that.
If that works, I'll meet you, I guess, in the council chamber.
Sounds good.
All right.
Okay, so as the party further splits and subdivides, Orta, you said you were heading straight to the council chamber. So, Kodav, you bring this. I'm assuming to the medical ward, to the medical ward.
Yep.
Remind me, your aunt. She is on Coruscant, right?
She should be, but I'm hoping she's still on Coruscant.
Yes. No. She is. I was just trying to remember your backstory, but I was 99% sure. Okay, perfect. So yeah, you get to the medical wing, and I mean there's actually quite a few people getting treated. You see even people being brought in on gurneys, like in pain, like they just got assaulted or hurt. You see some people with like blaster burn wounds. You see a few actual people who are missing like limbs or fingers or whatnot, signs of cauterization. And whoever is on staff, whoever is part of the medical staff right now, they are busy up to their years trying to save these wounded people. Some people are being dunked into. I'm so sorry. Some people are being dunked into back to tanks. Other people are having prosthetics attached to replace those missing limbs. Like it's a bit of a messy, well, proto tanks, but it's a bit of a messy situation right now. Let's call it that.
All right. Is there like a nurse or someone I can talk to? I don't want to
Like I
bother
said,
them.
they're all running around, so you'd probably have to interrupt someone who's in the process of doing their job or something, because like nobody's really paying attention to you. You don't seem critically wounded, and as far as they're concerned, what's in that bag is probably just a dead body or whatever, and they're not here for, like, they're trying to save the living right now.
Can I make a medicine check to see if there's anyone who's doing a not great job at saving someone, or at least doing triage?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, let's see. Alright, he's like, why is my medicine check so low? And I'm like, oh, that's right. It's a different character. My Pathfinder character, who's a medic, has a much higher medicine check.
Right.
Oh, is that a Kraken? That's a Kraken.
Nice. So you, with how used to this type of situation you are, you instantly are able to kind of gauge up the room. And you realize that most people here are actually fairly skilled, either again using the Force or traditional medical techniques, but everybody here is fairly skilled. At the center of this ballet of healing Jedi and nurses and healing robots, healing droids, you actually see a familiar figure here. And this is indeed a person that has trained you. It is your aunt and your master, really, that is operating and running the medical wing here. And you know that with her in charge, none of the people here would have been tolerated or allowed to stay should they have proven incompetent. As you know her fiery temper.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, so what I'm going to do is, while holding on to Bonnie and the body bag, I'm basically going to walk past all the the worst, whoever's just looks like they're just beat to crap on a stick, and I'm just going to basically just force heal as many people as I can.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna drop my force power to maybe in the low double digits. Let me see how many I can do. Let's see, cast this. Higher healing increase by 8. Okay. So first I can go to 4th, so I can do 48. And I can twin the ability. Okay, so 5. Okay, so sorry, I'm just doing
Take your time.
force math in my head.
Right.
That's
Force point, please.
it's 1, 2, 3, 4 for the heal. 5, so that's 9. So I have 37. So 9 is 18. I can do 3. Do people look like they're really badly healed, or just I'll heal the 3 worst. I'll heal the, because I'm twinning I
Yep.
can use 9 force points at 4th level, so I can do 6 people who are in the worst condition.
Okay. So you see like a few of the um, clearly wounded people here. Their breathing becomes a little bit easier. One of them, their chopped off wound, like arm, the blood like flow starts to stop a little bit coming out of the stump. You see a few people whose the color returns to their faces, as again you definitely at least stabilize a lot of the patients here that were probably dead. Well, not dead, but dying or close to dead. Um, and if you look in the direction of your aunt herself, actually, she's doing something quite interesting where, with, the nat 20, with the nat kraken you rolled earlier, you'll actually see that she's keeping her patient stable by using the force to actually continue the circulation of their blood and the exchange of air through their lungs without the use of a life support machine, while at the same time conducting heart surgery on them. And after a few minutes, she basically stitches up what she needs to stitch up, runs a hand over the wound, and you see the wound start to close and become quickly a pink and very healthy looking scar. She looks up from the dead, the person who once should have been dead, looks back at you, smiles, and
I
says,
look at
well,
I look at her and I'm like, you never taught me that.
you said you didn't want to become a Jedi.
Okay, that's medical.
Yes, it is also a Jedi's job.
Yeah.
One does not prevent the other.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure if you would bother teaching me, I can still learn how to do that without being a Jedi.
She kind of gives you a smile, and she says, maybe. But again, this is what happens when you're both good at medicine and at being a Jedi and wielding the Force. Now, what does my tempestuous and impetuous nephew want with my humble medical wing dragging that as she kind of
looks at the body bag.
the body bag on the floor, and she looks back at you saying, especially when it reeks of the dark side.
Research.
She kind of gives you that like eyes narrowed, lipped, pursed look, and raises both eyebrows before saying, and what kind of research do you think you're going to be conducting on that body, decapitated as though it may be?
It is the most intact ancient Sith body ever to be recovered. I'm pretty sure we can find out all sorts of things.
Like what? Prod it with needles? Check its genetic coding? What do you want to learn from the body of a dead Sith, nephew?
How their powers worked? Is their proclivity to be a Sith genetic? There's tons and tons of research papers we can write on this thing. The tissue samples alone are like a treasure trove.
And see, this is where, unfortunately, if you had become a Jedi, you would have had access to the restricted sections of the archives, and you would have seen that all these things have been researched a while ago. Funny thing, nephew. The Sith, a long time ago... Oh, 1 second. She turns around and yells at one of the other healing Jedi. No, not like this! She walks up, kind of corrects a little operation that they're doing here. No, this? No, that's the aortic valve. You don't... No, like this. And she basically just kind of takes the tools from them, resutures it. It's not just about pumping light side energy into someone. You have to know what you're reconnecting and how. Anyway, where was I? Yes, right. Sith. Funny enough, the Sith were actually genetically an actual species at one time. They had a whole empire. Their race is now dwindling. The empire, of course, is still around. You've heard the news, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The influx of visitors I'm getting now.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure, despite the level of research that is locked away behind vaulted doors, this is still valid research for those of us in the public sector.
Nephew, that knowledge... Look, we'll talk about this some other time, but that knowledge is not public for a reason. Anywho, for now, just... I don't even want that in the morgue with all the other dead bodies. You know what? Here. Put it on that gurney. I'll put it somewhere safe as soon as I'm done saving people who actually are alive and still need saving.
I'll put it on a gurney and I'll strap it to a gurney. And
She kind of looks at you strapping it and she goes, "Are you afraid it's going to get up and walk?"
Funny enough, it has done that before.
She kind of looks at you. Right.
That's why.
Okay, we're talking about that later.
I'm not gonna lie to her.
No. She's not. Good. You don't want a beating, but yeah, no. She nods and she says, "All right, go on now. I think you have a lot of explaining and reporting to do to the council."
And then I'll lift Bonnie up properly now and I go, "Bonnie, this is my aunt." And I'm trying to find the actual written thing I gave you because I know I gave her a name, but I don't remember it at the moment. But I'll just say this is my aunt, name, TVA.
Oh, I have it right here. Give me one sec. I have it right here. The name you gave her was Lormera Val.
Okay, there we go.
That is the name you've given her.
This is my aunt Lomera. She's the one that trained me to be a doctor.
She looks down at the kid, and then back to you, and then back to the kid, and back to you. And she says, "Oh no, the council can wait. You have some explaining to do. Since when do you have a kid?"
Well, she's not a Togruta, so she's obviously not my child.
Thank you for insulting my intelligence, nephew. I'm well aware. That still doesn't change the fact that she does seem to follow you around like one would follow a parent, which means you have some explaining to do. Well, aren't you the precious one? She kind of crouches in front of the kid, you know what I'm saying? Ruffles her hair a little bit, pats her pockets down, pulls out a snack and gives it to her.
She was orphaned on Tatooine, and I did not want to leave her to fend for herself on that planet.
She looks back up at you, and then back to the kid, and then back up to you, and she says, "Wow. Who knew?"
Who knew what? Do you think that I could, in good conscience, leave an innocent child to fend for herself in that cesspool?
Nephew, you just brought back the dead body of a Sith into my infirmary.
Research! as I point to the gurney with the body bag on it. It's like as far as any medical journal I've read, there's never been an intact body of that caliber in any Jedi hands. There's no way I was gonna leave it to rot and possibly be done who knows what on Tatooine.
Nephew, how about you leave this little one here with me, and we'll find her something fun to do while you go make your report to the council, yes?
Fine. Alright, Bonnie, this is my aunt. Again. She's a little rough around the edges, as you can see, but she's a good woman.
Tell me, Bonnie, as she kind of crouches in front of the kid, have you ever used a scalpel before?
I'm pretty sure she's gonna. I'm not sure if she'd light up or not. we haven't gotten to that point in our relationship yet where I would know if she would, get excited about, cutting something open. I mean, I wouldn't be. I mean, I wouldn't be upset about it. Considering Kodav's proclivity. But I'm
Unfortunately,
like,
at that point, she looks back up from the kid before you can kind of gauge the kid's reaction, and she does tell you, "Come on, nephew, shoot, get out. Us girls will get along just fine."
All right. You be a good girl for me, okay, Bonnie?
Yeah, thanks, Dad.
I don't know if I'm gonna get. I like in my mind. I'm like, oh man, can I get used to that? That's gonna freak me out.
And you
All
can
right.
see at this point that she is like focused on the scalpel, and she's kind of looking at it, and then she looks back to your aunt, and she has a huge grin on her face.
All right. This is either gonna be very good or very bad. Hopefully, very good. All right. I need to go to the console. All right. I start making my way to the console. I'm currently at 10 force points. In case
Yep.
you want to do something horrible to me.
Later, don't worry. Am I that predictable? Sir, I am
Yes.
offended. Alright. So, you head to the council chambers. And funny enough, by the time you get there, thankfully, you notice that Orta is still kind of waiting on an audience. Clearly, with the galaxy currently burning, they haven't exactly gotten to hear out Orta's report yet. But by the time you get there, it's only maybe another half hour until the heavy twin doors to the council chamber just swing open, moved by no mechanism that your eyes can see, but you figured out it's probably the masters using the force to open and close the doors themselves. As you are called into the chamber, both you and Orta, one of the masters, actually funny enough, a Twi'lek, looks through some of the paperwork on their datapad, looks back at you and says, "Ah, yes, Orta." And my apologies, Knight Orta, and he kind of frowns and then looks at you, Kodav. There must be a clerical error here, Padawan, but you are marked as having discontinued your studies with the Order.
I am, yes, no longer a Padawan. My ranking is Padawan, but I have decided to be a full-time physician.
He kind of looks at you, looks at the other Jedi masters in the room. They all smile at each other knowingly before looking back at you. And then they say, "Well, Orta, Padawan Kodav, I see here that you were sent by Master Garm on some information collecting missions as to the nature of soul sabers, sun sabers, and purifying kyber crystals. Am I correct?"
Yes.
Very good. Well, we eagerly await you telling us what has happened upon your recent travels to Tatooine.
Well, I suppose the place to start would be ripping off the band-aid, shall we say, and simply stating our yeah, our visit to Tatooine bore no meaningful fruit, as the levels of what would be the term? We met a lot of pushback from local forces and local entities that slowed us significantly and eventually chased us off the planet. We were able to. Were we able to get anything, like, at all on Tatooine? Tilt? I don't believe.
Significant?
Yeah, I don't think
No.
I don't think so.
I think the most significant thing would be you having found that there was some form of a Tarenta tech factory, remember? On the Sith cave?
Yeah.
Into the dunes. Um, but that's about it, honestly.
Yeah. The most
And
significant information.
And we found an ancient Sith destroyer.
You mean the ship?
Well, I mean, it's not just a ship. I mean, it's armed to bear. I'm pretty sure it can kick some ass in a fight.
Right. He kind of cringes as you say, like, kick some ass in a fight. And he turns back to Orta, and he says, "Well, and where is this famed or highly spoken of ship then?"
We had to leave it behind as a bargaining chip, as the perhaps biggest anomaly on that planet was a hut with force capabilities.
They look at each other wide-eyed and then look back at you. And you can see that they're frowning, and one of them even has concern in their voice as they say, "That, however, is indeed most peculiar."
Yes, he's also not as bulbous and pimply as your normal hut. His name is Buado.
Yes.
Right. We'll have to investigate this particular specimen, but the reason for this being so weird is, well, they kind of look at each other and then look at you. I don't know if you are aware, but huts are typically extremely self-imbued. And they view themselves as being amongst the most beautiful species in the galaxy. Their planet, Nalhutta, is a swampy and, quite frankly, distasteful place, which they view as an idyllic paradise.
Mhm.
And, as you know, most huts do not have the capability to feel the Force. It's actually quite rare. There's, I believe, only one other recorded case in history of a hut being capable of using the Force. And most of the time, if they find any sort of anomaly, including Force sensitivity, in their offsprings, the huts are most likely to kill said offspring. So the very fact that he is alive and capable of using Force powers speaks volumes to this character's oddity, for a lack of better terminology. We will send a few temple assets to investigate this further, if necessary.
Be very careful. He is surrounded by guards, and he has a cadre of lizardmen assassins who have the ability to cloak themselves.
Lizardmen?
Well, we never got
Yes.
a good uncloaked look at them, but we were able to determine that their physical form, at least, is one of the reptilian species.
He nods. Possibly some Trandoshans, then, using stealth field generators of some kind.
And I will warn this Buadu's presence is not limited to Tatooine. There was one prior interaction that we had on what was the planet that we got our initial ship from?
Corellia
Corellia.
is where you guys changed the tags on the ship, specifically.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have seen him, or in this context it would be I have seen him. No, we have seen him. I don't use eyes anymore. God. On Corellia. So his influence is not just limited to Tatooine, or the previously mentioned Hut homeworld that you brought up. So I would not say underestimating his presence and influence would be a wise idea.
Another of the masters kind of speaks up here and says, well, this is hardly overly surprising in the sense that most huts do have some form of a criminal endeavor or another ongoing at any point in time. Him having certain assets off-worlds or on other planets rarely comes as a surprise. But yes, we'll take a look and see how far his assets spread and see what we can do with regards to
Also know that our
investigating
engineer
him.
sabotaged the Sith ship. He developed a rather strong relationship with the AI on the ship, and it basically commanded it when we left to vehemently oppose anyone other than him to use said ship.
Well, hopefully that will give us some time to react.
And as previously mentioned, there was we bore no fruit in the research on the Soul Saber and the Sun Saber on Tatooine. So unfortunately, our initial mission was a failure in that regard.
Sands of Tatooine are constantly shifting. It's quite possible that whatever you were looking for had been swallowed by the dudes. That being said, the Force does work in, well,
probably
shall we say.
Probably
Hmm?
the Krayt Dragon.
Excuse me, Krayt Dragon?
Yeah, giant, horribly powerful, like lizard monster, likes to patrol the sands, eat anything around it. Yeah, we killed one of its offspring and it didn't appreciate it.
As any parent would, but... well, very few people tangle with such a beast and live to tell the tale. The Force must have been with you that day.
Indeed. We were even
Well-
able to escape the mothers.
Who knows, maybe you have gained something from all of this regardless.
When he says that, I'm only saying this because I'm sure the masters might pick up on it. But when he says like, "I'm sure you've gained something from this," in my mind, I'm thinking a severe distaste of Tatooine.
Of course.
I have to because I'm pretty sure, the ping of hatred for Tatooine to probably register with somebody in that room.
Probably. They do kind of look at you. You can see one of them, like, frowns a little bit, shakes his head, but they don't really say anything. Before they look back at Orta, and they say, well, we will forward this information to your master, to Master Garm here. Along with your further instructions, he will contact you as soon as we're able to get a signal through the Sith blockade on Tython right now. In the meantime, if I could be so bold, I think a little bit of... hell, who am I kidding? A decent amount of time in the temple's meditation chambers might do you both. And he kind of looks at you, Orta, and you can feel that he's kind of registering that your mind is, like, full of voices. And then looks back at you, Kodav, who he felt a spike of anger come through, you know? And he's like, I think a little bit of time in the meditation chambers could do you both a lot of good.
After I help my aunt deal with the influx of bodies in the medbay.
He looks at you and he says, I'm sure your aunt has this very much under control. And that being said, I can feel your connection to the Force at this point is exhausted. Take the time you need. Meditate a little bit. Renew that connection to the Force. Then, feel free to go and help your aunt in the med bay.
Toadette will just nod his head.
As
Very well.
Orta will give a bow and be like, and if once you have news about Tython and Master Garm and company, please, if possible, I would like to get that information as soon as possible.
He kind of picks up on, you know, your I don't want to say your worry, but you know, your response to what you, well, not your response, but the implied emotion behind your response. Smiles, and he says, "You will be the first one to know."
Our thanks.
Now, please, go center yourselves. May the Force be with you.
And with your spirit.
Toadette just nods his head. he's very, I don't want to say opposed, but he doesn't he deters himself from letting himself get pulled into the minutia of Jedi ceremony.
As he leaves, as you both leave, really, as Kodav and Orta both leave, the doors close. Behind those closed doors, I mean, the masters like kind of look at each other. They nod. One of them even says, "Lots of anger in this one." And then another one kind of nods, takes a deep breath, and says, "Yes, but uncertain is their future. We'll have to see how it turns out." And then another one says, "Yes, no use punishing someone for crimes they have not yet committed." And on that note, you guys will make your way to, I believe, well, are you going to the Jedi Meditation Chamber, Kodav, or do you just say that to kind of placate them and you're just going to do what you want?
I'll go. I mean, I'm pretty much, you know, the last thing I need is my aunt to find out I was asked to go to the, you know, meditation chamber and I didn't go. I don't want to hear that lecture.
So if anything, you're kind of doing it more to, you know, not have to deal with pissed off auntie. Got it.
Yeah.
That being said, so yeah, you guys get to the meditation chamber. They're low lit. There's actually like cushions and comfortable seating everywhere. That, you know, you see a lot of younger Padawans or even some older knights and masters who are sitting and meditating. You're pretty damn sure that some of them are just like fell asleep seated. And they're not meditating. They just flat out decided, nope, you know what, nap time.
The early days.
Yeah, right. But nobody seems to actually wake them up. After all, if you do need rest that badly, it's important that you do rest. And before we get into the nitty-gritty of you guys meditating or any of that stuff, I would like to go... Hopefully Zoro has had time to put child down. I would like to go back to our non-force sensitive half of the party right now, if possible, and see what they're doing. Because if I remember correctly, Zoro, Ziva, right? I'm not killing the name.
Ziva.
I think Siva's the.
Ziva.
It was Ziva. Good. So I did not butcher it. Good. So, yeah. What are Ziva and On Lee doing at this point?
I think we're on our way to a bar.
Yes, you were gonna go and find some information. There was something you wanted to look into.
There's information that Ziva needed.
Correct.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So here's the thing, right, with Coruscant. Depending on which level you go to, you'll go from super high class bar where, you know, people are very rich, and, well, let's be honest, with the current attire that both you and Only are wearing, you're probably not going to be allowed in. Then, you know, the deeper you go into the city of Coruscant, the seedier and seedier the bars and cantinas and whatnot will become. So, my question to you is how deep do you go?
I mean, I don't want to go to the seediest bar, but definitely not going to. Well, actually, no. I would like to search for something that's somewhat high class, actually.
Okay. So like the highest class possible that they'll let you in considering your outfit kind of deal without you having to go and buy like, I don't want to
Possibly.
say nobility clothing, but like,
Yeah, quite possibly.
Okay. Oh, sorry, what was that?
As I say, that seems reasonable.
Okay. So yeah, you guys settle for something somewhere in the middle sectors, right? Not, again, like I said, top end where politicians and bigwigs go, but somewhere where, you know, again, people who do go there are relatively well off. You're not going to be barred entry based off of how you're dressed and what you look like. But at the same time, people who do work there make enough credits that they're not desperate and you're not likely to get shanked on your way in or on your way out of said bar / cantina. When you get to the place, it's actually fairly well lit. There's actually like big lights at the front that kind of completely illuminate the courtyard in front of the bar. The place is actually clean enough, in the sense that there's no like garbage flittering around in the streets, you know, carried by the breeze. The people who are here are armed, but they're not resting their hands, you know, on their on the holsters or on the butts of their blaster pistols. The barkeep themselves. Here, 1 second. This is something I've taken to doing now. I randomly roll the race of my barkeeps in Star Wars because you guys are going to have one on almost every single planet. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Let's have a little bit of fun here. Oh, we could do this. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Yeah, let's do that. The barkeep actually is a fairly well-kept woman, female, of the Chiss. And this is actually something quite rare because usually Chiss live in the Outer Rims. They don't make their way all the way to Coruscant. But yes, they're blue-skinned, red-eyed, completely humanoid in shape otherwise. Hair, the whole 9 yards, but they basically look like a human with blue hair. Blue hair. Blue skin and red eyes. I'll get there. So, when you guys make it through the door, you hear a pleasant little chime sound. She looks up from the bar and she says, visitors from off-world, clearly, please, come in, make yourselves at home.
Ziva will nod and try to find a table for herself and her new friend.
Okay. Yeah, she sits you guys actually close to a window. Your trained expertise here, from both of you having been in scraps and fights and whatnot, normally would have you avoiding windows, but looking at it, you actually realize that these windows are transparent steel. They're basically transparent steel, or transparent durasteel if you want to go that way, which is basically usually what the what's it called? Viewports on starships are made of. So, long story short, there's no small caliber weapon that's gonna snipe you guys or put a dent in you guys from outside. Which leaves you relatively safe to sit there without having that fear of getting sniped or shot from outside the building. The table itself is actually spot clean, and while it is nothing too fancy, none of the, you know, again, natural wood or fabrics that you would find in the upper echelon establishments, it's still made of, you know, some form of synthetic imitation of the wood. has a nice little tablecloth on it, and even, you know, a pair of flowers in a little vase in the middle of the table. You see that all the tables have this, by the way, not just yours, of course. And she comes back and pushes a little button, and you realize that that little pot with the flowers in the middle is actually some form of a holo display that pops up where you guys can see the menu. There's all sorts of drinks, and funny enough, whether this is true or not, there even seems to be real bantha steak available if you guys choose to eat.
I think at this point Ziva is going to just look around and see, just kind of keep an ear out to see who, out of all these high class people, who is one that may be having some sort of a secret, I guess is one way to put it, where she's trying to just listen and get information to see who could potentially be one that is trying to get items of the rare or not so rare variety from like black markets and whatnot by just kind of listening to their conversations and kind of gauging personalities and whatnot.
Okay, so you're trying to see if anybody looks a little suspicious or is potentially linked with a parallel market / economy.
Pretty much.
Okay. Thankfully, this is relatively easy to do because, again, for once, this place is not blasting, ear-shattering levels of music. Though, paradoxically, because of that, the people here are not speaking very loudly. Can you give me... Let me see here. I almost had a perception check, and I'm like, wait, pause, wrong system. We've been spending way too much time playing all sorts of different systems, and now my brain is like, which system are we playing? Give me an... no. Actually, What am I doing? One sec here. If my internet would function. 1 sec. There we go. I want to say an alert. I don't want to say, because that's just not going to do it.
Like perception or insight or something.
I was going to say, either, if you can anyway, either give me perception, but I would even allow investigation, actually, depending on how you choose to do it.
Okay.
Since
I mean,
you are
yeah,
trying to
easily.
acquire information.
She could easily weave her way through the crowds as she has done before in the past while she goes to like get a drink or whatnot.
Okay, yeah.
Just kind of casually blend in and just weave in between. Kind of pulling a Parker, just kind of blending in and weaving.
Okay. I'm just casually going through the crowd to the bar and back to your table kind of deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Jesus criminy dice. All right, we're starting off great. That is a 31.
Jesus, where are those dice when we're having a battle, eh?
Rolled a 19.
Please roll this every time. Okay. So, you make your way through the crowd, right? And then you get to the bar. As you're kind of going through the crowd, you hear snippets, not bribe. Sorry. So the French word for a snippet is brib, which is written exactly like a bribe. So funny enough, my brain went straight to, you hear bribes of conversation, and I'm like, nope, that's not how it works in English. My apologies. You hear snippets of conversations here, and a few of them do pique your interest because you hear people talking about acquiring exotic animals and basically selling them to the upper echelon people, or that Lord this is looking for this type of animal for this exhibition hunt and blah blah blah. And you're hearing again a lot of stuff that could be about acquiring rarer or unusual things, but nothing that strikes you as being the type of stuff that you're usually looking for. AKA, again, nobody really talking about drugs or things that one would consider, again, Illegal. You get to the barkeep, and she looks at you and says, "Well, welcome once again. Is there anything that we can get you to perhaps wet your whistle or sustain yourself in our establishment?"
She's gonna look a little disappointed. She didn't quite find what she was looking for. She found a lot of information, but not quite what she's looking for. So she will, I'm just looking up, like, random ass, like, drinks. And she'll just say, you know what, I'll have a bottle of Dorian Quill for me and my friend, please.
Of course, with pleasure. Do you both wish for a glass or the whole bottle?
We'll split the bottle, please.
With pleasure. So, it doesn't take her too long to bring you the bottle with 2 glasses as you make your way back to the table. As she gets to the table and brings you the drinks, she looks at you and she says, "Is there anything else either of you would appreciate?"
We'll take a quick glance at Onley.
I'm here for good drinks, you know?
She smiles.
Out of curiosity, you wouldn't happen to have seen within the past month or so men looking very fancy coming in here with black and brown coats by any chance?
She kind of looks at you and cocks her head to the side, and you can see her eyes get a little unfocused, almost like she's looking, 20 miles outside the building. And she looks back at you and she says, "Unfortunately, that description's a little vague. It fits a lot of people who've been coming and going through here. Could you be any more precise?"
Yes, let me find my character sheet. Because I don't know my own character shit.
New campaign for you who just...
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, let's see here. Okay. She will say, well, normally they're nice, clean, long coats, almost dusters. They tend to have some sort of symbol on them of what looks like a sun with a dagger stabbed through it, but sometimes they come in here helping some of their clients. Didn't know if they had anything going on recently through here. Otherwise, they do have just black and brown coats. Sometimes black and white.
When you mention that, they kind of look at each other and they look back at you. She looks at you, then on Lee, then back to you. Sorry, my apologies. My brain is scrambled at this time. But she looks back to you, and you can see that her very, warm smile that she's been sporting this entire time kind of just fades, for lack of a better term. And she kind of looks at you and she says, "Well, while I can't always guess who they are, I can assure you that any of their members, should they ever come into this establishment, have been promptly turned back to the door."
Can I do insight check?
Go ahead.
10.
Something's definitely like this. You don't even need an insight check to tell this. I'll tell you that much. But they kind of look at each other, like you can tell from their look here that they're very uncomfortable with who you're referring to, and they know, like they know who that criminal organization is. They're just basically giving you the whole, are you a cop? And if you are, we are law-abiding citizens, and if you're not a cop,
Well,
then either you don't...
The moment I just see them looking uncomfortable, she's like, relax, I'm not here to chew on the establishment, I'm simply interested.
She smiles and she says, here's the thing. If you know who they are and you're looking for them, and you're not a cop, but you don't know how to connect with them, you're either looking for a scrap, or you think I have something to do with this. One way
Oh
or
no,
another,
you just
she
work here. I know you have nothing to do with it. But you are the eyes.
She smiles, and you can see that she's still uncomfortable. Can you give me any form of persuasion check here, real quick? Just to see how persuasive you're being in the way you're talking with them.
Yes. I swear my dice are so yin-yang right now. 18.
And she smiles and she says, so tell you what. If you're in the know, there's no need for us to talk. Feel free to simply order what you wish for. And on that, she turns around and walks away. Let me know if you need anything else.
She'll clear her throat and go, you are mistaken. I have every which way to contact them if need be. I am just looking for certain members is all, as I am searching. I have a way to contact certain members is all. Others elude me. You wouldn't happen to know anything about certain members by chance, would you? As I will slip a few credits forward.
How much do you slide?
I'll do 1,000.
She'll take the money and she'll say, look, honey, you clearly don't know how things work around here, but asking for this here and now is not the best way to do things. Tell you
Here
what,
and now?
Come see me after closing hours. We'll talk then, yes?
Sounds good. The second
She smiles and nods stiffly. Yep, go ahead.
The second she turns her back, Ziva just like drops her smile and just kind of huffs and just takes a swig of her drink.
Anli, anything you want to say or do during this entire thing?
Anli's watching right now.
Okay.
She's trying not to get in the way or overstep because there's clearly something going on here.
Want to give me a quick little insight check real quick?
Alright. Okay, it's not terrible. My insight. It's only a +1, so 15?
Okay, and give me a perception check.
That's much better. My perception is decent, so that's going to be a 23.
Based on the conversation that just happened, you picked up on a couple of hints that the barkeep might have dropped. And looking at the other tables and whatnot, combined with the fact that, you know, again, the windows are made of transparent steel, and seeing how, again, people here are still talking about, you know, acquiring exotic and rarer goods, You're actually able to put two and two together that this place is probably a front for another type of business, especially considering how little, not little, but how low the number of actual customers in the place is. Especially if you correlate that with the amount of rent and or municipal taxes the average Coruscant business, should be paying. And the fact that she was mentioning that, if they're looking for something, they should be ordering from the menu. You see that some of the tables, the menu for some reason is a different shade of blue. The whole holographic, projection type color is a slightly different shade of blue, and while you can't quite read what is written, you're pretty sure from how the text is disposed on their menu that whatever they're ordering or whatever they're buying is probably not banta steak. What you choose to do with that information, whether you share it or not, is entirely up to you. But yeah, something more is going on here.
Can I attempt to focus really hard on those menus with the Hawk's instinct that I have that allows me to see up to a mile away as if I'm...
Oh yeah, if you want...
And find details as if I'm looking I'm looking at something fairly close.
Oh yeah, no, if you want to use your Hawk's instinct, I won't make you roll for it. You'll just see it. I would assume you're capable of zooming in, basically. If you can see things that are up to a mile away, you can zoom in and read what's written on a menu. That's fine. Reading upon it, you can see that, again, they're basically ordering some form of contraband or another. This is a front for illegal businesses. It's just a very refined front.
Just gonna take this all in, and after the barkeep walks away, and Ziva starts looking a little down. She's gonna say, "Well, it doesn't look like we have the menu meant for established customers." And she's gonna.
What's more? Sorry, because you are capable of reading it. What's more, you do realize that this place probably acts as a hub/auction house of sorts. As you can see, some customers are actually inputting things on that menu with prices.
Okay.
It's some form of an anonymous auction house, for a lack of a better term, for the criminally inclined, we'll call it that.
Seems that ours don't have the auction features.
Oh yes, as I was weaving through, I can hear some chatter about certain things they have their eyes on.
Yeah, it looks like they're ordering said things. The colors are different, and she'll tap to the menu.
Well, every place is different. It could be rare items or illegal items.
From the looks at most of them are illegal.
I guess to be fair, it's all illegal, but let's just say they're eating pretty right now. I recognize some of the smells.
Can I get both of you to give me another quick perception check, please? Actually, now that you know what you're looking for, give me those perception checks with advantage, actually.
One better. Okay. That's gonna be a 16 for Only.
Alright.
25.
Now that Only has told you, Ziva, that it had something to do with the menu, you take another closer look at that little artificially potted plant, you know what I'm saying? Flowers, like I said, flowers that are kind of sprouting out of that vase that serves as a display for the holographic. And You notice that those flowers, there's all sorts of different flowers. One of which is actually fairly and weirdly rare. You see one of them that looks like a black sunflower. So black, beautiful black petals, right, with a black core with a very thin orangey red outline around the core of the flower. Hello?
Oh, I had myself muted.
Okay, I was like, I'm being Ziva.
Did my internet die? Did my internet go down? Again?
So she's going to just like scan around it, like she's just scanning the room. And then take a drink as she nonchalantly just kind of like turns away, just so like her head is kind of like it just sees like the back of her head. As she looks at Onleen, she's like, well, they certainly have cameras or something out here, keeping an eye on us. The plants aren't just for decor. He takes a sip.
The plant is not a camera, I'll tell you that.
Oh, it's not? You said it had a ring around it. Like, that's very ominously a camera.
No. Here, I'm going to tell you. This is actually a real IRL thing here. I'm actually going to drop it. You'll be able to see it here. I'll drop it in the
I'm trying to be all
chat.
smart, and I was wrong.
No. Here. It actually looks exactly like this here. It looks like an actual flower. To be exact, it looks like a black sunflower.
Oh. Yeah, what you were describing, what you were describing was like, oh, this is a camera.
I was thinking the same things. It's okay.
Thank you. I'm not alone.
It is a digital device of some kind made to look like a flower, but it is not a camera per se.
Can I clock to see what it is?
It is a black sunflower. Can you? Yeah, if you want to figure out what it is, roll me a tech roll.
Probably smarter than Aldi wants to do.
Yeah, go for it with both of you if you want.
What does this button do? No.
Oh God, no.
That's an option too.
Aldi might be smart for barbarian. Still barbarian.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Yeah, you realize that the core of this flower seems to be some sort of an activation switch. You may or may not have found how to, turn on the special menu.
Yeah, she wants to see what's on it. So she'll go ahead. She's not shy about these certain things, so she'll be like, yeah, and she'll activate it.
So, I see what you did there. So, you turn it on, and the menu changes color to reflect that darker blue color, that you were talking about, that I was talking about earlier, that the other patrons were consulting. And on it, you find all sorts of stuff. You find, anything from illegal drugs to weaponry to highly sought after and rare modifications for weapons like tech parts, creatures, rare species, non-sentient of course. Hell, there's even a section that potentially, from what you're capable of quickly deciphering on the fly here, might have to do with a slave market. This seems to be a hub for all things illegal.
Does it say who they're provided by, if it's multiple organizations or whatnot?
No. From what you can see, all the auctioning that is done here, this place serves as a middleman to ensure the confidentiality of both the purchaser and the seller. For a sizable 15% markup fee, by the way, on the average sell price, And you see that some items have prices that are wildly inflated, and a few things are actually being sold under their typical market value. As, again, this does not seem to be regulated by any company or organization, but be dictated purely by, offer and demand. There's even a section that allows for requests to be posted with how much you're willing to pay, and other people would basically go ahead here and fulfill the outstanding contract if they had the goods that are being sought for.
And it doesn't say like how it's obtained. It's just kind of an auction or
Nope.
a point of interest.
Correct. It's just, I want this. Oh, it's gonna and I'm ready to offer that. And if you're offering enough, somebody's gonna take the contract and give you the thing. Or, oh, we're selling this. We're not telling you where it comes from or who it belonged to or any of that stuff. We are just selling this for this price, and if you want to buy it, you pay, and then they bring you the goods. It is purely an anonymous hub.
You know what?
It's
She's
outrageous.
curious. She knows better, but she's just curious to see if there's a list of names for the slaves.
Unfortunately, the slaves don't seem to be named. They're purely categorized by species, gender, and basically skills, what their skill sets are, what they're good at doing or not.
All right, she'll scan those.
Age as well, of course.
She'll scan those.
So are you? Yeah. Okay. Well, again, it's a bunch of species, genders, ages, and skill sets.
Yeah.
Is there something like in particular you're looking for?
Yeah, she's looking for all the Twi'lek names and everything.
Okay. There's no names, but there are a few
Or
Twi'leks.
Twi'lek, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Yeah, there are a few Twi'leks. None that would fit her brother's age, gender, and skill set, because she knows what he's good at doing. Right? We've talked about this the last episode. But she doesn't actually find anything that would exactly match his description. There are a few of them that are good dancers or entertainers or acrobats or stuff like that, but again, nothing that you'd go, oh, right age, right gender, and right skill set that would actually fit your brother. So it doesn't seem that he's being sold through that system, if he's being sold at all at this point.
What about the other two?
Funny you would mention that. You look for the other two, and you do see a few that could match that. The problem is, they are, again, unfortunately, how do I put this? Both the age groups of the mom, and it's her sister, right? For the other two?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. So both the mom and the sister, you have actually, funny enough, a few slaves that could fit.
Okay. For which one? Which one of the two?
So funny enough, actually, for again the other two, there is people that actually match those descriptions, and the problem is, though, from what you've given me of their description and whatnot, these things could match multiple individuals, right? It doesn't necessarily mean like older, has learned to do this, has learned to do that. Female, there's a few of them that could potentially match that description, but yes, there's a few for both of them, actually, that could match that description.
Okay, does it look? Can we see a bid, like what's being bidded on?
A few of them, the younger ones especially, seem to be higher priced when it comes to that. The ones that are, at a matriarchal age, for a lack of a better term, don't seem to be selling quite as much, despite the higher skill set, which goes to show that, a lot of the people who buy these are just, pardon my language, but pervs. But yeah, at this point, or business oriented, depending on what they want to do with them. But that being said, the bids go anywhere between, like, on the lower end in the 15,000 credits, all the way up to the several hundreds of thousands, depending on, again, age, skill set, and whatnot. So, for the specific things that you mentioned, the younger ones are sitting at around, from what I'm seeing here, at about 35,000, and the ones that are more of the aged variety here, again, if we're not talking about super high end, they sit at around maybe 20K.
Okay. She's just gonna keep drinking.
Okay, very good.
Anything catch your eye?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, but we'll see what they have to say when they close.
Emily's just going to note that she spent a long time looking through the slaves.
Just enjoy the drink. It's not cheap. It's actually one of the better things here. Not saying that you don't have refined taste. I'm just saying it's one of the better things than the slop they serve at cantinas.
If you want to insult me, you're going to have to try some real harder than to insult my drinking habit.
Hey, if you will drink anything, that's even better. Better to not be picky, to be honest.
I'm not picky about much. Very few things will get to me on edge.
Like what? Clearly not drinks.
Not drinks, never. No, but if I make a deal, that's something I'm sticking to. Kind of goes against what I do if I break all that.
So you're a woman of your word.
Very much so.
So I take it if anyone were to break a promise against you, it would be very irritating.
Incredibly so. But I think I more hold myself to a higher standard than others. But no.
Nothing wrong with
Trying
that.
not to take too much action, but I will do what I feel like is necessary.
That's fair. So tell me, since I have you here, what are you guys needing to do on Nar Shaddaa? Since the Jedi are kind of pushing you that way.
The others of the group have something they're looking into. I don't truly understand what it is.
They haven't told
They
you,
got me.
or it's just Jedi whatever?
Jedi, whatever.
Ah.
Mostly helping them out because they gave me a ride off Kashyyyk.
You're from there.
I am. Grew up there, really.
You grew up there. That's a rarity.
Oh, don't I now?
So you've proven yourself there then. From what I've heard, you've got to kind of keep up with the boys, as it were, to be accepted and acknowledged. Is that true?
I quite frequented the gladiatorial rings. That's how I made my living.
Ah, their favorite pastime. Well, even better to move up.
Yeah, kind of interesting to see what else is out there. As you can see, why though I have to keep my word. Those rings often work off of someone keeping their word.
Yeah, I understand that. Have a few friends that are from Kashyyyk as well. So I get that. What even brought you there?
That I'm not entirely sure. I was brought there as a child.
Was there a battle or something that kind of dropped you off there, or they just kind of adopted you?
No, my parents dropped me off with a family friend and never came back.
Ah.
As in our space travels, you probably would have heard the other Torgria that we have, the NPC Torgria we have, referred to as her.
Oh, right. She kind of takes a drink and she looks confused and she's like, so, do you just call that other person your mom then? Or, like, what's the deal with that?
She makes a face when you call her mom. It's a very much a gross why face. I prefer not to. It's kind of hard to call someone your mother when you haven't seen them since you were 4.
Ah, one of those situations. Right. Sorry to pry. Just making conversation.
It's all just questions. It's fine. Won't hold it against you.
I don't have a lot of casual conversations, so not really. Well, that's not true. I do, but not of my interests or things I may even be even remotely interested in, so sorry if I'm a little awkward. Funny enough, even the casual conversations were still business, now that I think about it. So yeah, I suppose so.
So you imagine most of my conversationalist has been with the natives of Kashyyyk, and they have a very unique way of having casual conversations. Most of the galaxy doesn't like that form.
It's true, but funny enough, a lot of people don't even know the language, so it's great to speak code through it.
This is true.
My friends taught
Well,
me
I
a thing or two, if you ever want to speak code, as it were.
Keep that in mind. Not sure how much the other crew members actually speak it. They didn't. I saw them using a translator on planet.
Oh, well, that's one way to get by it, I suppose.
Sure.
You just
And
keep
yourself? What, God, I forgot what I was gonna say. It came.
drinking. Here, keep drinking.
It's been a long week. Everybody's had
Keep
a
drinking.
long ass week.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep drinking because that went right out my brain, and I'm not
okay.
going back for it.
I feel like everybody's brain cells are slowly dying tonight. It's been a very hard week. It's been super hot. Everybody's tired, and we've had long ass work weeks. So yeah, I think everybody tonight is just a little zonked out. It happens. So while you guys are drinking and chatting and having a good time, I'm gonna shortly zoom back real quick to our meditators for like 5 minutes, and then we're gonna go on break, and then we'll resume. So what we're gonna do real quick is just zoom back to our 2 Jedis. You guys are in the process of meditating. Just before we go on break, I just had one question actually for Orta real quick. Orta, is this where you want to do the thing that you had mentioned to me in the DMs a few sessions ago?
Yeah, that this feels like
Okay.
a good opportunity to do that.
Perfect. So I'll save that for when we come back from break, but I just wanted to make
Yeah,
sure,
for sure.
so I can make sure everything's ready for that part. Okay. Good. So with that, we're gonna go on a quick break. We're gonna go and try to reset our brains and get a little bit of water in us and try to get ourselves back to full functionality here. But yeah, so we're gonna go on break. We'll come back, but don't go too far. And give us a few minutes. We'll be back with some more Tales of the Outer Rim.
I'm just being a little shit.
There you go.
And we're back.
Alrighty.
Oh, that's something to come back on. All I heard was, I'm being a little shit.
There we
I'm
go.
waving.
They were called out and they admitted to it.
Way back. Way back.
Let it be on the record forever.
Mhm.
Hello,
Why am I
waving.
not being a little shit? Let's be real.
True.
Fair. Fair.
It's just a state of being.
It's true.
So, that being said, Orta and Kodav, you go into those meditation chambers. And you, Orta, said that you had a specific meditation that you wanted to do here. Why don't you go and tell the rest of us what you focus on as you meditate?
Well, a very, very long time ago, I got a peculiar data pad that let me talk to any one entity from some period of time or another. And I am going to use that to reach out to the individual who created created the process to heal a kyber crystal, or something along those lines. I would like to reach out to the person who developed the process to heal kyber crystals with my
Okay.
meditation.
So, you take a deep breath and focus on your connection to the Force, right? And you say, Our Father that art in heaven. I'm kidding.
And with your
Sorry.
spirit.
Right. So you focus on the Force, and you can feel yourself as you breathe just connect to the rest of the universe. Every time you take a breath, worlds are created. Every time you breathe out, suns wink out of existence. The entirety of the known universe for that particular one singular moment is just connected with you. And you don't know if your brain's capable of processing that just because you're so used to being part of Nixie's hive mind, or if it's just some ulterior force here that's just been, guiding you to finding the answers that you seek. But after a small moment, you open your eyes and you see one, for lack of a better term, at least a hooded figure, standing in front of you.
I bow to them and say hello.
They look at you, they bow at the exact same angle you just bowed, and they say hello.
I was hoping to gain insight from you on how we might be able to heal the kyber crystal of a soul saber.
He raises an eyebrow and smiles. Or at least you think he smiles. But it's hard to tell because, again, it's a hooded figure. You can't really make out what they look like.
Shaded.
Hmm?
Shaded and everything, yeah.
Yeah, But at the very least, you think they smile. And you hear, this voice, again, kind of manifesting from them as they say, "Oh, well, I can tell you that you're most definitely going to find it.
As in a way to reach that goal? As in a way to help the heal it?
He points at your belt and he says, "Haven't you already started walking down that path?"
Yes, but I don't want to stray from it.
So is it that you have a hard time figuring out how to purify it? Or is this simply a manifestation of your fear of failure?
I suppose probably the latter.
He laughs and says, "Well, I can tell you most definitely that you will be able to find it."
It's just continuing down this path.
He smiles and he says, "Yes. Actually, it's quite simple."
And I get the sense that journey is part of that process.
He nods, he smiles, and he says, "Yes. After all, how do you heal from a wound but to give it time, yes? Well,
Indeed.
time without re-injuring yourself."
Yes.
However,
Go ahead.
no, please go ahead.
I realized I also wanted to inquire about knowledge that you may have on the Sun Saber.
He smiles and he says, "Yes."
It's something that I've not found much information on the origin of, and
He smiles, nods, and says, "With good reason."
fair. I imagine something like that ought not be recreated handily.
Well, yes, but it's also because if you want to make a Sun Saber, he smiles and he says, "You need to heal a Soul Saber."
Ah. I see.
They're both weapons, I don't want to say of unimaginable power, because what is a simple handheld weapon compared to the power to, devastate entire stars and drain planets of life? I mean, the Jedi and Sith have both done feats that mere mortals would view as being quite tragic and miraculous, but no. They are still weapons of great power, and, well, as I'm sure you're aware by now, the acts necessary to create a Soul Saber are not the most savory.
The amount of pain it causes for everything involved is a bit sickening, if I'm being honest.
And all that pain does not really warrant the manufacturing, at least on a big scale, of some things like Sun Sabers. That being said, I understand why for you at this particular moment this is important information. And I will give you the same hint that I was once given maybe 20 years ago. Or was it 30? 20 or 30 years ago. And the hint is as follows. Dathomir.
Dathomir.
And on that note, they once again bow, and they say, "May the Force be with you."
Before you go, would I be able to get your name?
He doesn't answer and just fades out.
And the Force with you.
The Force with you, bruh.
And with
And
your
with your
spirit.
I bet. I swear. All right. Kodav,
East.
you, sir, are also meditating in that room, correct?
Yes, I am.
Your meditation takes a slightly different turn.
Oh.
You get a weird feeling. Give me an insight check.
Oh. Give me a second. I need to actually see what my insight is. Let's see. Insight. So dark. 18 plus 5 is 23.
And you can tell what that feeling is. And not to reuse a commonly used Star Wars trope, but you have a bad feeling about this.
About what in particular?
As you search deeper into your feelings and that feeling you're feeling from the Force, you kind of hook onto it. And you get flashes, quick images.
Legacy of Fools, thank you so much for that raid.
Hey, welcome, thank you.
Yay!
And you get flashes, you get images of Onli and Ziva getting into a bit of a scrap. You see blaster bolts flying, and at one point, one of those blaster bolts just zips past Onli's head. She kind of turns, and you hear a high-pitched whine, and you see 3 physical projectiles with needles that inject some form of toxin or whatever into her, and her body just falls to the ground, dead. You hear another high-pitched whine like that, and you see the same thing happening to Ziva's body. And you hear stomping mechanical servos, as clearly something is walking outside of your field of vision, and then everything just goes black. And your vision refocuses, and you're back into the Jedi Temple.
Alright, so he would be sweating profusely. Do I know how long the meditation took?
So funny enough, right? The scene itself probably took like 3 minutes. Outside, you can tell it's probably been like 2 hours
Okay.
in real time.
So I need to calculate how many force points I got back. Is Orchis still near me?
Yes. He seems to be coming out of his meditation as well at the same time.
I grab his shoulder and I go, We need to find the girls now. They're in danger.
Understood. Let's go.
Okay.
And as we leave the chamber, I hop on my comm, and I like just punch in on Lee. I'm like, "Where are you two? You're in danger."
And on that note, we will transition back to the bar where the two of you were having drinks and having a fun little conversation. And as you guys are talking, like I said, several hours have passed, and you get a ping from Kodav on your holocom unit. Yeah, you get a ping on your holocom unit. What do you do?
She'll glance down at it and give it a read and just give the response back. She'll respond with what bar they're at and be like, we weren't planning on visiting the most safest of areas. We know how to handle ourselves. That's all he gets back.
Wherever you are, leave now. If you can't get back to the docking bay, we'll meet you there.
Is everything all right?
Sorry,
go ahead.
That's fine. Apparently Kodav says we're in some sort of danger and then we need to leave now.
Well, everyone here is dangerous, that's a fact. How does he know?
She shrugs her shoulders.
How good is his intel?
All I gave you everything he gave me.
That's ominous. No one would really want to make a scene here. I feel like leaving would just give us a tail. But we could go to a crowded place if it will make your friends feel better.
He has a bit of a temper, so I'm slightly concerned on how well this is actually something happening and how much was done over. Has been prone to this before.
What do you think then? I'll defer to you since it's your friends. You know them better.
Friends is a strong word here.
Rides then? Acquaintance?
Acquaintance rides. Those work. Just gonna read through the messages one more time.
Do you need me to repeat it, or?
No, I'm just thinking.
Sorry.
I'm trying to figure out
Dramatic
how much
pause.
Anli's trying to figure out how much she actually puts stock into Kodav's words, given their entire history together.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. I never know if it's dramatic pause, my internet dying, or
That's fair.
or you needing something from me. So my apologies. Keep going.
Can I roll some sort of insight to see if I can gather anything else from these messages other than he seems to be worried about our safety?
Okay.
I don't know. She's trying to tell if she should take these at face value or if she should read into them more. I didn't roll very well, so that was like a 5. So it's really up to you. I have seen him overreact numerous times.
Well, we've already stayed too long here anyway, and I'm not staying until they close to become even more suspicious, so to be completely honest, I'm okay leaving for now and then coming back later when they close.
Works for me. Just have to keep an eye on our surroundings as we leave.
Oh, I usually do. At least we killed the bottle. That was my ultimate goal.
I can't leave such fine liquor undrank.
Exactly. For the record, it's aged whiskey.
Basically.
She'll motion for you to lead the way.
Sorry, what were you saying? Only I couldn't hear you.
Oh, she'll wait for Ziva to lead the way. Kind of motioning that she'll keep an eye on the back.
Okay. Ziva? Where to?
I really had no other plans other than that.
So, is it more like, are you going to just like a crowded intersection, or you go to another cantina?
Yeah, just in case
sorry,
the
are
information is has some sort of merit. She'll go to like kind of a crowded, like a marketplace or something.
Okay. And do you like give that information out to Kodav so he can find you guys at that intersection, or like what do you do?
I don't have his number, so.
Well, this also crosses to Tam, depending on which one of you two wants to send the info. But yeah.
Yeah, she'll message it back of when we get there, where they're at.
Okay.
She's not gonna ask outright as we're leaving, where are we going? Let's let
No,
everyone
of
know.
course.
But she
But
will
you
keep a
you do
really good eye on their surroundings as they
Yep.
are traveling.
Yep, you guys do actually safely get to that intersection, no problem.
Cool. I'll respond back. We're hopping in a cab now. Be aware of droids in groups of 3.
I think I might have to add superstitious onto overreacting.
Why? What happened?
Apparently he's paranoid about droids in groups of 3. I don't know why 3 is such a special number.
Just kind of looks around a little bit. He's like, does he know this entire planet is operated by droids, right? Like, the cabs are even droids.
This sounds like something you read a really bad shaman. A fake shaman would give you. I'm very confused. To be fair, Jedis are just in general confusing.
Well, to be fair, we can still, if it's not too boring for you, still information gather. I don't know what the hell's going on with your Tython planet, but marketplace are a great place for gossip and whatnot for some news, so you can always just listen in and see what the heck is going on.
Might as well.
Other than the typical, Sith hate Jedi attack. There's got to be more to it.
I think Omni will try and locate a stall with, like, just some food that we could pick at. So we look like we're doing something as we're listening in. Just kind of whatever, like, street vendor type food.
Food on a stick.
Food on a stick! We need sticks. That we'll just eat.
Okay. Yep.
We're hopping in the cab to the marketplace.
One
I'll
second.
continue to keep an eye on the environment while Ziva's listening in for her rumors.
So yeah, you do see, like, again, a few vendors that sell street food. I'm gonna be honest with you. Thankfully, this is not the like lowest of levels, so it's not mystery womp rat meat, for a lack of a better term. But it's
Not really
clearly,
picky.
but at this point, it's clear it's not even potentially real meat. It might just be synth meat. But hey, it's food. It doesn't taste like garbage, and it fills your stomach.
It's more to make us not look as suspicious. Just
Of course. And as you're listening, I'm so sorry. Most of the conversations that you hear here are very normal. It's nothing crazy. There isn't really any... I mean, yes, there's the occasional hubbub, and you can see sometimes, like, holo displays, big holo displays on the sides of buildings and whatnot, just showing scenes of the war right now, of the fight that's going on over the skies of Tython. It seems like a small force of Imperial ships have basically run through the Republic blockade and landed on the planet not far from the Jedi Academy, but aside from that, there's nothing really detail-oriented that would tell you why they're there or what they're doing. Of course, the media, is running the usual, oh yes, the Sith hate the Republic, blah, 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 blah. But there isn't really any much more of value at this particular moment. That being said, yes, Kodav, at this point, you and Orta land not far from that mid-level where they're all hanging out. And it takes you probably 2-3 minutes tops to actually get to the intersection / mid-level market, for lack of a better term, where they were buying their food and listening to the news and people walking by. Thankfully, you see they're both completely unarmed at this point. Hell, they don't even seem like they've been in a fight.
Just chewing on our street sticks.
So he doesn't run to them, but he aggressively walks over, just look his Anli and Ziva, and he's like, okay, so it's something that's gonna happen in the future. Okay, we need to get to the docking bay.
She immediately looks over to Onley and she's like, Jedi shit.
I'm not a Jedi.
Okay. Using the Force shit.
Talk about seeing weird shit, but okay.
We are
Good
being
explanation
entirely
to me.
fair. We are being entirely fair. Coming out of meditation and quickly stating it, they're in danger, we need to go, is very Jedi.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying.
Does Orta actually say that out loud, though?
Yes, he does.
Okay, this is actually being said, okay.
Yeah, that's just Kodav's gut reaction to whenever someone says or implies he's a Jedi.
She
Sorry,
did
you were
correct
saying?
herself. She said, oh, okay, then Force shit. Using the Force.
Which to us is all the same.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I don't know why, but I was given the vision that you two were in extreme danger of the life-ending variety.
That's my life every day.
Let's see what's new with that.
Yeah, you were ambushed and shot with some sort of poison darts, and you died. So,
What
Do
do
you
you
think just have a fever dream?
I don't do drugs, and I don't have fever dreams.
You're around a lot of toxic chemicals. You've been carrying around a weird body.
Yeah,
I've seen you talk to yourself.
Yeah, well, communing is just something I do. I have.
Yeah,
and
not a Jedi.
Yeah,
She's
well,
gonna give you a look of
just because I have a high sensitivity to the Force does not make me a Jedi. I'm a doctor. I'll always be a doctor. despite what anyone says otherwise.
Alright,
But
well,
you two are in danger, and I'm not sure where the danger is coming from, and I at least need to consult with someone to find out if what I saw is something relevant or just some sort of deep-rooted fear.
I mean, I'm in danger all the time, so that's just my life. I can't speak for anyone else.
Can't even count on one hand the number of times I've been shot in the past few days.
Yes, but I've never had visions of it happening.
That's the reason
And
I'm not sure it was a vision. You were sitting in a room closing your eyes while you could have just dreamt it.
It's
I
not
fell
a
asleep
dream.
when I was doing that.
Look, I do not know how to explain the Force properly to someone who's not Force sensitive. You don't just have weird dreams. When the Force speaks, it's telling you something for a reason. You don't commune with the Force. So I need to know whether the vision I had is something that is truly prophetic, or if it's just a deep-seated fear. If it's deep-seated fear, you can call me whatever name you want. But if it's prophetic, and I can save your life, then I will sleep better at night, knowing that you're not dead and I couldn't do anything about it.
Well, I don't know about you all, but I'm going back to the bar later this evening, so...
No, I recommend that.
Not letting her go alone. I've already promised to accompany her.
I would be described as conspicuous, so I don't imagine me coming along would be helpful. But I'm not inclined to leave you be. With,
Yeah,
like,
the senior
like-
parts of town, you stick out like a sore thumb.
I resemble that comment. But with visions like Kodav had, I'm not inclined to leave it to chance if there is an opportunity for us to be ready and be able to help in some way.
When are you supposed to head back to this bar?
When it closes.
Do you know when that is?
Why, yes, because
2
I would have
a.m.
totally have asked.
2 a.m. when all bars close.
I'm presuming it's like, what, maybe mid or late afternoon? So,
Yeah, maybe an hour before sunset.
Decently into the evening.
And
It's a higher
the bar
class
itself-
bar. It's not open that
Yeah.
late compared to, like, other bars.
Yeah, I was about to say it probably closes around the equivalent of 1 a.m.
but you at least indulge me and come with me to the medical facility at the Jedi. You don't have to go in, but I need to at least confer with my aunt and see if she can help me sift through this vision and see if it's something I need to be worried about or not.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. Why do I have to be there?
If
Because-
your aunt's at the medical wing, either she's be focused on recovery or she's helping out, and they're pretty damn busy given what's going on.
If I tell her I had a vision of people I know being killed indiscriminately by a couple of droids, she'll be the first one to react, because this will be the first time that she's known of me having this vision. And for her, that would be something to take her full attention.
Oh, good. You guys can have a family moment then.
I don't need any more family moments in my life. Trust me, had enough.
So, I mean, I'm with Ziva. Why can't we wait on the ship while you do that?
You can wait in the ship, that's fine, but at least wait someplace where at least you have.
I mean, I'm done with my errands for now, so sure. I'm I'm gonna check on my ship anyway. We did just come out of a battle. Not that I really got hit, but I need to do a routine checkup and whatnot.
Right. I will confer with my aunt, and I will let you know. Or I don't know if you want to come, or if you want to go with them to help keep them safe. Numbers are very important. I did not see you in the same situations. Hopefully, if with them, it will prolong or at least delay whatever I saw.
I'll stay with them to ease concerns, and I will keep you in the loop.
I am going to be back as soon as I can. And Kodav just lets out like a loud 2-finger New York whistle to call a cab.
Which does absolutely nothing until you grab your holocron device and actually order it through, Coruscant Uber, but yes.
He does that. He's annoyed that the whistle didn't work.
That being
from Tatooine.
That being said, though, yeah, you take a cab, you go all the way back several hours later, back to the Jedi Temple. It is night now. Your aunt, thankfully, has slowed down. And Bonnie, funnily enough, is wearing basically the children equivalent of scrubs, which you can see your aunt clearly like patched together. And when you walk in, she says, welcome back, nephew. Your daughter has been a perfect little assistant and has helped me all evening fix everybody who's come through this clinic. And you can see she's beaming with a huge smile on her face. Clearly she didn't operate or do anything like that, but, she probably was given a bunch of small menial tasks and told, she was good for helping and given more candy or more snacks. And for a kid raised on Tatooine, obviously, that's, for her anyway. Exactly.
I am very proud of you. I need to talk to my aunt for a quick moment, okay?
And she smiles, she goes, okay, and she goes sit on a nearby chair, relaxing.
I need to consult Master.
She looks at you when you call her Master, and she makes a face and says, I thought you weren't studying to be a Jedi.
I'm not, but considering what happened to me, protocol.
And so why are you calling me Master if you don't want me to teach?
I had a vision in the meditation chamber.
Oh, so now we want to act like a Padawan. We had a vision and we want Master to tell us what's happening. Come on, nephew.
People's lives are in jeopardy. I do not want to interpret this vision.
People's lives are always in danger, nephew. Every time you walk outside, one of those hover cabs might just crash right on top of you and kill you.
I don't usually, I've never had a vision before, and this one was very clear that at some point in the future, when I don't know when, that a group of 3 droids are going to poison 2 of my companions and kill them.
She takes a deep breath.
I don't know if this is actually a vision or if this is just some innate fear I have that manifested itself while I was meditating.
And it is hard to tell, especially when you give in to your anger, especially when you don't want to study the meditative and tenets of the order that would help you rein in your emotions and make sense of these visions. Oh, nephew, how is one so powerful and the Force so stubborn? She shakes her head. Fine. Tell me about this vision. You said 3 droids, or at least 2 or something, shooting.
I
Okay.
explained to her the vision as I saw.
So she nods as she says, "Okay, so what did you want me to help you make sense of?"
I need to know if this is prophetic or fear. I mean, I am not immune to being susceptible to fear. We are doing some very dangerous things, and some very horrible things have happened to us recently. I don't know if this is just PTSD, or if this is something that the Force is actually, you know,
Well, do you want me to verify?
if you know of a way to do so.
She smiles and she kind of pats you on the head and puts, one of her and leaves one of her hands on top of your head. And at first you don't really feel anything, but after a little bit, you feel this like uncomfortable itch under your scalp, almost like something between your actual like cranium and the skin on your head is just like tingling or has fire ants running through it. It kind of morphs into a bit of a headache as she kind of lets go of your head, smiles, and tilts her head to the side and says, "Well,
Mega Meganium just leaked.
I can tell you this much: you're not sick, and your brain is fine."
Considering I scanned myself before we docked, I could have told you that.
When you say that, she grins and she goes, "Okay. Well, what did you need my help?"
And when I say scan, I'm pretty sure she knows I mean medically.
Yes, she does.
It's like, I do not know how to interpret the Force or the inner workings of the way it weaves. It's like, if what I'm feeling is fear and you can feel it or sense it, then that would put me at ease. And I can tell my friends I was just having a scare delusion while I was in a potato state.
Well, again, nephew, I don't see anything that would justify you having delusions in the first place. You haven't been taking any psychotropic affected medication or drugs or anything recently, so again, I don't really see a reason, physical anyway, where that would justify what has happened to you in the meditation chamber.
Okay, if it's not physical, is it, and I dread using this analogy, is it spiritual?
Is it what now?
Spiritual. Considering, colloquially the Force is,
No, I understand. I understand that out of character. I was just
Okay.
wondering, like, how we got to spiritual from that. But she kind of smiles and says, "Look, I'm sure you've heard the masters say this before, but the Force does work in its own ways." But let me ask you this, nephew. Even if you knew, and I'm using this as a completely open example, but even if you knew that dropping sorry, my English is failing me at 1 o'clock in the morning. Even if you knew that dropping a stone in a pond was going to create ripples, is it better to focus on the rock? Or is it better to simply be aware that the ripples are going to happen and plan for it? Regardless of whether the rock is on its way to hit the waves.
I'd rather stop the rock from hitting the river in the first place. No rock, no ripples.
She smiles and says, "Yes. This time it's a rock." Next time maybe the rock will be too big. And then what?
like hell to try and keep people who I care for, at least to some degree, from dying.
She smiles and she says, "So then why are you here talking to me?"
I was hoping you'd help me decipher what I saw, but if I should...
I think it's quite clear. Your friends get shot and die.
I guess I'm heading back to the dock. Please
She smiles. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Please take care of Bonnie.
Yeah, she gives you a very like Jedi-y bow, bow forward. And she says, "Good luck, my Padawan."
He hugs her and he says, "Thank you, Monty." And then he kneels down in front of Bonnie and kisses her forehead. And I have to go help my friends. They might be injured. So stay with Auntie and you be a good girl. And we'll have a day in the city when I get back.
She looked worried until you said "when I get back," and the moment you said "when I get back," you can see her face brighten up as she gives you a huge toothy grin. Your aunt kind of looks at you and says, "Yeah, I'm auntie when you get once you've gotten what you want, and I'm master when you need information. Get out of here, you rascal."
This is the last time I show you the respect you...
She rolls her eyes and she says, "Yeah, sure. Get out of my infirmary ward. We'll talk later."
Yeah, and he basically, as he's attempting calling another cab, he's just like, docking bay, whatever.
Yep. 100 credits to get here, 100 credits to get back again.
Yeah, I know. I'm taking it out now.
Yep. And then as you arrive at the crossroads, you can see that, the docking bay, sorry, not the docking bay. You guys had moved to the docking bay, to be safe. My apologies. Yeah, so you get to the docking bay, and yeah, the ship's fine. There doesn't seem to be a scratch on it. Nobody seems to have shot or tried throwing grenades or put a detonator on the hatch or anything like that. It's quiet. It's eerily quiet. But again, no signs of forced entry, no signs of violence, no blood, no blaster bore scoring or any type of weaponry or weapon damage or anything. So, thankfully, it seems you guys are okay.
I guess hit the communicator button on the entrance hatch and go, are you guys in there still?
All right, so y'all who have gone to the ship will hear a buzzing as the front hatch communicator basically flicks on, and you hear as well. You hear Kodaf speaking.
Yes, I am still on my ship.
Okay, I guess permission to reboard.
I mean, you can, and by the time you get here, we're leaving.
I'm in front of the ship.
Oh. So you see the latch coming down. Alright then we're leaving.
Yes, it is quite indeed the time for you to get to your meeting.
And I can't stop you from going where you're going. I just ask, you're fine with me going. Let's just say I couldn't get a definitive answer if what I saw is something to be truly concerned about. But despite that, I am concerned about it, and I would feel much better if you get done with your business and back to the ship without any issue.
Right. You guys can come, although it feels awkward having more people going, but sure. Hopefully you guys don't scare my contact off.
Well, I don't know about Orta, but...
What about Orta? I thought he was coming.
I said, when you said scaring off your contact. They go, he kind of sort of gives off the good cop vibe.
I could stay outside in a threadbare hood.
Why don't I go in and you guys are back up? How about that? I don't scare off my contacts.
What?
Seems sound.
Okay. So what do you guys do exactly? You go back to the bar?
Yes. Yes, we do. I do, at least.
We'll make sure that Ziva has her number saved so she can quickly punch it in if she needs backup.
I mean, technically, we already exchanged information when
I know.
you were trying to contact earlier.
That's true. But make sure to keep it on hand.
Sure thing.
Okay.
Alright,
So,
head on over.
yeah. You guys head back to that bar, and, okay, I know they said they were gonna, act as backups and whatever, so that mean you're going in alone, or is somebody coming with you? Once you're actually at the front of the venue.
I mean, technically, Anli was there with her when she was asking information, so if anything, she would probably just say, like, hey, Anli, why don't you and I just go in for now? So we don't, like, scare her off or anything.
On a little nod. She has the other two numbers she can punch in real fast if she things go sideways.
Yep.
Speed dial.
The agreement is more that we call, don't bother answering, just come in. Like, if you get a phone call, that means shit's going down. Don't bother to
Right.
answer it.
Yep. Okay, so Kodav and Orta, you guys are going to wait outside, I assume, then? Or does Kodav not agree with that?
I mean, I'll wait outside, but just keep your finger on my comm link, and if you feel anything squirrely, hit it, and we'll come in.
Okay.
I do find a cheap threadbare hood to make myself look less conspicuous, but probably end up looking more conspicuous.
Just try to stay out of sight.
Yeah.
Ouch. Very much ouch.
They give off very Jedi vibes. Come on.
Yeah. Or will
Okay.
find a convenient alley and just hide behind a dumpster. Just hide behind a dumpster. Not deep in the alley.
Kodav will just, whatever alleyway is next to the end, he'll just, enter it just in and lean up against the wall.
Okay. So, now that you guys have more or less decided how and what you want to do, Unli, Ziva, are you guys going in?
Yep.
So, funny enough, you get to the bar and the lights are still turned on and everything, but there is a panel in the door, basically a holo display in the door that's kind of been reprogrammed to say, sorry, we're closed, you know what I mean? But as you get near the building and you push the door, it still swings open.
Well, she'll cautiously go inside, head on a swivel. She looks for the contact.
Probably is definitely keeping a very sharp eye on her surroundings.
When you walk in, funny enough, there's all the other tenants, of course, are gone, and the Chiss barkeep at this point is having a little bit of food, and as you guys kind of come in the room, she looks at you and she says, "Ah, yes, my guests from this morning. Please come in, come in, come in."
Nodded. follow. Keep myself
she
close to the door. Keep myself somewhat close to the door.
Yeah, she leads you guys to a table and says that, you know, she has to finish a little bit of the accounting, but she'll be right back as soon as she's done closing for the day, and so she does exactly that.
I'm just going to do exactly what she did on the space station for everyone else. She's taken up the like a bodyguard style thing, so she's not sitting down. She's staying close, but kind of behind Ziva in the very bodyguard manner, and just definitely working to give off those vibes as well.
Funny enough, yeah, the chiss here, the barkeep, she's alone. There's nobody else. But after a bit, she will look at you, Ziva. I'll get the hang of your name one day, I promise. She looks
But
at
today
Ziva.
is not that day.
Zizu?
Stop it, please. I'm slowly getting rid of it, like used to it. Please stop. But yes, so Ziva, she looks at you and she says, "Well, again, my apologies for my earlier rudeness, but work is work, as I'm sure you understand. But at this point, I am free. I can actually answer some questions. So what did you want to know specifically?"
Oh, I just wanted to know about if you've seen some certain members here, but I'm also now interested in your special list that you have, the special menu, and was wondering if I had a way to get some more information on them.
She kind of looks and raises an eyebrow and says, "And what item are we talking about specifically?"
Oh, I had my eye scanning the list of slaves, and a handful of them caught my interest, but of course, new place, new auction, new rules, so I am just not sure if I'm able to take a look, like if there's an actual auction house where we get to see the goods, whether it's virtual or whatnot. Or if it is perhaps something that's just more word of mouth and hope.
So, when you tell her all this, she smiles and you see her demeanor change a little bit, and she says, "Look, I understand what you're asking, but unfortunately, before I can answer you anything, I have to ask. Why did you want to know about that logo?"
Because I am affiliated with them. Sorry, I'm not as obvious and open about it.
All right. Tell you what. I'm going to confirm that.
Oh, please do.
Come back tomorrow.
Do you need a name? I can give you a name of who I'm associated with, if that would help at all.
If it'll speed things up, sure.
Sure. Calden.
When you say that, she goes pale.
I see that you've already heard of him.
She doesn't answer the question as she kind of looks at you.
Do you still need confirmation?
She smiles and she says, anybody can drop a name, so I will still confirm. Yes, our business model here is off of efficiency, and I never leave anything up to chance, but unless you want to actually, persuade her otherwise, or bluff her otherwise, or intimidate her otherwise, you see that she still seems like she is going to check.
Oh, please do. And are your associates here in town? Is that how you're confirming? Or are you doing a holo call?
She doesn't answer that. She just punches something into, again, her comm, and then just hits the send button and waits for a bit.
Steve, we'll wait.
And a few minutes later, there is a ping. And she starts reading the message. I need to double check something. It's 2 seconds. Okay. Can you actually check your DMs 2 seconds? I just don't want to say the wrong thing here and spoil something by accident, so just 1 sec, guys.
There is nothing in my... Oh, never mind.
She will, however, ask you, Ziva. For a piece of ID or your name. And she'll wave the holo terminal, well, the holo, the holocom in front of you. You don't get to actually see the message. She's just kind of waving the actual physical thing in front of you. And she says, Big Boss just wants to know who dropped his name.
Oh, he would actually know me by my nickname, Zev.
Alright. You can see her type in, Zev into the thing and sending it.
She will glance over at Lee, and she's being very nonchalant in her body language, but her eyes are very much, like, on alert and kind of almost like giving a silent warning of just stay on guard, just in case, with her eyes.
You get a very, very small, almost imperceptible nod from her, but the look on her face doesn't change from that, like, I'm just paid to stand here look of half boredom, half why the fuck is this taking so long? But she does, like, continually scan the room. And then alternate that between glancing at the barkeep with a look of, hurry the fuck up, please. I'd like to go home.
So, at this point, you wait for a while after she sends out her nickname. And the comm eventually comes back, and it takes a few seconds for the barkeep to read it. And she's kind of just reading, and you know how, like, when some people, they read, they bob their head a little bit, so she's kind of just bobbing her head as she's reading. Then she stands up, or straightens up, sorry, not stands up, she was already standing behind the bar, but she kind of stands, like, straightens her body up after reading, looks at you, and says, well, that puts us in a bit of a pickle.
How so?
Well, you see, apparently, well, yes, you were, working under him for a while. Seems like you've been out of touch for a bit.
No, just a bit. That's why I'm trying to get in touch with old friends.
She nods and says, well, that wouldn't be a problem normally. However, seems like you guys weren't really exactly just friends, were you?
Oh, we may have parted on bad terms, but that's why I want to make it up to him. Look, I'm not asking to see him face to face. I'm just seeing if anyone has passed by here. And now I'm just interested in potential merchandise.
She smiles and she says, well, the merchandise I can help you find. But, unfortunately, if you're talking about meeting and making amends here, well, she motions to the back of the store, and she stands up. Well, not again, she doesn't stand up, but she straightens out and then turns around and walks through that door leading to the back of the store.
As she starts walking away, I'll be like, I'm sorry, where are you going?
Oh, we do have a certain amount of stock that we do keep, well, on the premises, if you want to call it that.
You keep the merchandise here. I doubt that.
She nods and she says, oh, heavens, no, there's way too much of it. If we kept it all here, it would be a big problem. But let's just say that when orders are made and we know some merchandise will get transferred, I mean, nothing wrong with being a little preemptive and making sure we have those things on demand, yes?
Can I do an insight check?
Yeah, go ahead.
This sounds real suspicious.
Oh, this is super sus.
Super sus.
Dirty 20.
Same here.
Hey!
Funny enough, she
Dirty
doesn't seem
girls.
to be lying. She does not seem to be lying about the fact that they do keep extra merchandise in the back.
So she will confirm. Be like, you are referring to the living merchandise, correct? I don't much care for any of the drugs, weaponry, and whatnot. Antiques and everything.
She nods, she smiles, and she says, oh yes, as per our conversation 4 or 5 minutes ago, I'm well aware that you were talking about the live variety.
Excellent. Oh, I promise. I'm not gonna do anything. I just want to take a glance is all. I'm civil after all.
She smiles, she shrugs, she nods, and she says, well, right this way then, and brings you to a big back room. And when you get there, you see that the walls are half covered in knickknacks and things that aren't necessarily of super high value. However, there is one spot that does seem to have some pens, with a few quote-unquote slaves that are currently in that pen. It's just this cage with basically what you assume is Durasteel bars, really.
Right.
Then she looks at you and she says, well,
She'll step forward and just take a glance. She will nod back at Onlee, kind of doing the same eye look again, almost kind of like watch my back real quick, as she'll take a gander inside and see if she recognizes anything in there.
okay. So it still sort of follows the pattern I explained to you earlier, where those particular slaves in that pen are kind of organized by like types and gender and whatnot. You can see the guy. This chest is probably fairly OCD about organizing, because everything again has some form of a organizational logic as to how she sets everything up in here, and so it doesn't take you long to check, and you do see that unfortunately none of the people you are looking for are in this room right now.
Since she was trying to kind of memorize the list, she knows that only like a portion of those people are here, right? Not the full list. Okay.
Correct.
So she'll turn back and go, not quite what I was looking for. Is there a warehouse or someplace perchance I can gander at the rest of them?
She tilts her head to the side and says, no, every client has their own space, if you will, when it comes to storaging merchandise.
Fair enough. Are they going to perchance put them on display for the auction? That way I know what I'm buying.
Oh, unfortunately, not really. What we usually end up doing for this kind of merchandise, anywho, is we have people doing what you're doing. They come here, they visit, they actually take a look at what we have available for trade for this particular day. And usually, if somebody shows interest in one of these products, they will bring the product here and make sure that they are available in the pens for inspection whenever the new client arrives, really.
Oh, interesting. Is it possible for me to put in a request then?
Of course, provided you have the capital. We do ask that the reward be given up front. It helps people not make frivolous requests and then end up unable to pay after the selling party has expended no small amounts in order to procure what the client has demanded.
Well, I'm planning on purchasing, but I just want to see the merchandise to see if what I'm looking for is worth my coin. As you said, this was a way to see, at least observe the merchandise before buying.
She nods and she says, again, if you want that particular merchandise to be brought here, a formal request must be made and the funds will be withheld. Should the merchandise brought not fulfill your strict standards set forth, of course the money will not be given to the seller until they have found the right product. But the money, unfortunately, will stay with us as a middleman to avoid any inappropriate conflicts between the two parties.
Of course. And how much is the fee?
The fee itself is 15%. The amount you are willing to pay will directly correlate the amount of effort that most vendors will put into finding the exact product you require.
Of course, and yet you're skirting around the price. So how much will it cost me to take a look at some of your other merchandise that's not here?
Again, this is what I'm saying. If you wish for something, you make the request and set a price that you're willing to pay for it. And then, should we have anything that matches the inventory, we will bring it here. So the question is, how much are you willing to pay?
Well, since I am simply just looking, I'm willing to pay 5,000.
Okay. Well, tell you what, I'll help you set up a demand for the exact specifications of that product you're asking for, and we'll set the opening price at 5,000 and see if anybody can find what you're looking for, or if they do but aren't willing to sell it for that amount, they'll make a counter offer. How's that for a start?
Perfect. Shall I come first thing in the morning then with my fee?
Yes, and the exact specifications of what you're looking for as a product.
Perfect. I'll get something together by the morning then.
Very good.
And she'll
And
nod. And as she, before she even exits that room, I just want to do like a quick look over and see like what can I find that sticks out of interest.
Okay. There's a few things. There's 3 boxes that are sealed with the logo of the Black Sun on it. You have no idea what are in the crates. There's the slave pens, of course, that I've kind of mentioned earlier that can hold up to about 15 slaves, but they don't really want to have too many of them here at the same time. So it's between 15 and 20 from what you can rapidly count, because you're not going eeny, meeny, miny, mo and counting them one at a time.
Right.
But yeah, between 15 to 20 from what you can very quickly glance at. You see a huge tarp in the back that's covering something that seems to have an odd shape, but you have no idea what's under that tarp. And then on the other side of the room, you see that the entire wall is covered like a bank wall would be with little what looks like safety deposit boxes. And you can understand that, again, usually when somebody wants to sell something, the product is held here most of the time anyway, until it's purchased, in which case, once the money transaction has gone back the other way, the product is given to the buyer. So they have a bunch of safety deposit boxes to make sure that, you know, anything they are told to hold on until it sells is effectively being held on. Honestly, looking at this building and the way the transparent steel windows were armored, and how the whole building seems to be built to take a hit. From what you can tell anyway, this really does seem like it fulfills the dual function of being both a bank for the criminally inclined and some form of auction market.
Okay. Can I get a glance to see like how crazy sophisticated any of the locks or anything are from like the doors and everything?
Like you mean like the doors to get here from the main room or stuff like that?
Yeah, like the main door we went through, and then the door back here.
Right. So if you're talking about the door into the building from the outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
The doors seem to be made out of the same material as the windows. To get from the front of the room to the room that you're currently in, taking that quick look around, for that I will ask you for either investigation or sheer dumb... How do I put this? Yeah, anyway, you get what I'm saying. So yeah, go ahead. If you could just give me a quick check to see if there is anything here that you might have missed.
Okay. 26.
Very nice. You notice a few things, actually, funny enough. A patch of the wall going to the back room from the front room seems to have been freshly, like, painted over, for lack of a better term. It's almost the same color, but you can see some damage was done to the wall, or something was done to the wall. You notice several security cameras in both the front and the back. It's not Fort Knox, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's just complicated enough that, you know, it's not just like, how do I put this? That it's like not like an actual real bank, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. No, she's just checking the security and the locks and everything.
Yeah, again, they're the locks, if there are any on the front door, you don't see them. So if they're locking it, it either might be magnetically or some other more fancy or convoluted method to lock the front door.
Right.
You know, it's not like just most people's houses where you just turn the alarm on and lock the door and that's it. Thank you very much. This is a little more sophisticated. You also notice there's a reader for probably either a thumbprint or an eye.
Okay.
And I guess more importantly, leading to the back room from the front, there's how do I describe it in English? I'm so sorry. I guess the best way to like describe it, it's like an airlock door basically. It's looks like you know those garage doors that just like kind of pull up into the ceiling?
Yes.
It basically feels like there's one of those, but it was in the up in the ceiling formation for the or position, for lack of a better term.
Right. Okay.
So there's a few little things that would make accessing this area slightly more complicated, but like this is not Fort Knox. Let's put it that way.
Okay. She'll nod and gesture to Onley to leave. And we'll head out.
Okay.
Unless Onley wants to do anything.
Yep, go ahead.
Onley will follow. She's just keeping a good eye on the bartender as they leave to make sure nothing weird is happening.
Yeah. Fortunately, it seems actually like this Chiss is very, like, her whole body language seems to be relaxed. And, she'll just simply say, very well, I will be seeing you tomorrow with your request as close to fulfilled as I can make it.
I appreciate it.
Again, should any of the sellers ask for more than the offered amount, you'll then have to see if it's something you're willing to, you know, pay for.
Okay.
But I'll keep you in touch, or even send you a quick message if ever there are any changes to the price.
Sounds good.
Or the seller's demands. Okay. So on that note, I do thank you very much, and I will be seeing you tomorrow.
Sounds good. She will leave.
Good. Funny enough, you seem to be allowed to leave, no problem.
I had an idea, but it's nothing I can do, so... Yeah.
Oh, also.
Should just like some sort of like sleeping gas or something.
Very good.
But yeah. I think when she leaves, she'll she'll walk all the way back to her ship first, and she'll just kind of look at the group for a moment. She's like, I have a funny idea.
funny in what way?
I think I want to break into that building.
I mean, it seems real odd to me that they have all that merchandise back there. Almost feel like they're resting on the reputation of who they work with to keep them safe.
Oh, I mean, it's very rare that they screw up. So, it's true, but at the same time, storing some of their stuff here is, well, kind of a bad idea.
Robbing a supposedly legitimate business to the authorities.
They pay
They
the
most
authorities.
I was going to say that.
I said
If they're
supposedly-
operating this much in the open, they have someone paid off.
well, even more of a question of why are we robbing them?
Well, I have reason to be bothered by it. I'm not asking any of you to get involved, but I would like to get a hold of some of their data pads and see where they're hiding some of their merchandise. Not planning on stealing anything else, really. I can easily scan and transfer that data onto my own pad.
Well, then why don't we just wait until Neville gets done with his family? See if he hacked into their systems.
I'm a little uncomfortable knowing we're leaving slaves there.
She raises an eyebrow and she's like, why do we need to wait for another hacker?
I thought you were a pilot and captain.
You assume I'm a pilot because I can drive a ship. Which I
When you roll,
can.
yes. What is your roll? Yes.
This is what I do.
So they are holding slaves on site.
Not the ones I'm looking for.
Okay, so you're looking for specific slaves.
Looking for a small handful.
Okay, again, if you're a hacker, why can't you get the data you're looking for?
Well, you can't just hack and have the door just automatically open. There's a finesse way about it. I have to get inside first, find the data pad, find the manifest of where they are perhaps storing some of the others, and then go from there.
I can only go by what Nibble can do. And he seems very proficient in all of this and logical stuff.
See, and all I know about Mibble is that he's the pilot. So
Correct.
that's all I got.
He is the pilot.
Well, the fact that he can hack is new information for me.
He's quite adept at it.
Maybe we'll have a hack off sometime.
Oh, weird. Lord Almighty. So, that being said, as you guys are chit-chatting, have you guys like been moving away from the diner bit by bit?
Oh god,
No,
I'm
we're
not
at
saying
the
this
ship.
there. Yeah, no, I said I was waiting till I was getting back. I ain't saying this shit out loud.
Yeah.
No, I know. I just didn't know if back meant like meeting back with them outside the store, or back meant you waited till you're all the way back at the ship.
All the way back to the ship.
All the back of the ship.
Undercover.
I ain't
I
saying
just
this
wanted to
shit
make sure
out
what
loud.
level of back we're talking about. No. I knew as much. I was just wondering because it is still kind of important information at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you guys are back on the ship. You're having your little talk here. If do you have anything else you want to go with regards to that talk? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just curious.
Not unless anyone else had anything to say.
I mean, you know for a fact they have slaves in that establishment, I could ask the council to see if they can do something. Slavery is, as far as I'm aware, still illegal in Coruscant, no matter what constables are being paid off to look the other way.
Oh,
She's
slavery.
looking for
Sorry, go ahead.
information. She's looking for information on additional slaves. Tipping off the council is just going to make it harder for her to get that information. The shopkeep flat out said not all product is on site, which means that we lose the rest of them if they just capture those few that are there.
It's quite a long list, too. They only had a small handful of them there. Besides, if it was as easy as just calling the Jedi authorities to go in there just because it's illegal, I'm pretty sure the crime syndicates would have been out of business a long time ago. But here we are.
Why are you booing her? You know she's right.
I don't speak for the council. I just know that if something is embarrassing and illegal, they tend to react to it swiftly.
Sure, as long as this place doesn't get caught, they're willing to overlook it, considering they're in the middle of a battle right now.
Well, that too.
You know, if you go into the industrial sector on this planet, that's where all the spice is, right? Illegal things are happening on every planet, every day. I'm not here
Most
to
people
police
don't take no
anyone.
for an answer.
Exactly. I'm just here to get information. Hopefully find a few things. And if not, at least information's information.
If we're
Plus-
breaking in, we might as well release those that are there.
I suppose we could. If that's something I suppose you guys want to do. Although that kind of gives them the idea of what we're up to.
And not we just remove other merchandise as well.
They did have some interesting things in there that I did not recognize. And some safety deposit boxes. Those could be fun to get into.
If we liberate some pieces of merchandise, burn the rest, they will know exactly what we're after. Could just be a group of that's going, ooh, bad illegal.
Well, if we burn certain merchandise, it's just gonna piss them off, and that's kind of a black mark you don't want on your back. They're pretty relentless.
And stealing some of their merchandise doesn't either.
It depends on the merchandise. That's why, and don't take this the wrong way, that's why I wasn't really going to intend on freeing the slaves in there. They'll catch wind. Don't get me wrong, just to make sure we're all on the same page, yes, slavery bad, I hate it. But I'm just saying, I have an objective and this could tip them off.
You have an objective and it's around the slaves, and you need it kept quiet until you can fulfill that?
Pretty much. Sort of been an ambition of mine for a while. The galaxy's quite large. It's been hard to find certain things.
Okay.
And these things, they are, to be clear, not in the purpose of having your
Oh, did you just mute yourself?
You cut out.
Yeah, you cut out there.
Yep.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
You stopped halfway through your sentence and just went dead.
Yep.
okay. Not
Your
sure
lips
what
were
happened
moving, but
there.
no sound came out.
Yep.
She just said that this is not for the purpose of owning your own slaves, right?
Oh, goddess, no. No. No, I have
Good enough for
hands
me.
and feet. I can do shit myself.
Good enough for me. Obviously, it's not something you wish to share. I'm not gonna pry. We all have our secrets. But if freeing the slaves does hamper what you're trying to do now, for now.
And so, speaking of secrets, as it is currently 11:30, unfortunately, we will have to wait till next episode to see what those secrets entail and, well, how the deal is going to go down, proverbially speaking, when we go and check what slaves she will have brought for inspection on the morrow. But for now, unfortunately, this is where we're going to have to part, as it is 11:30, unfortunately. So we're going to leave it on the little cliffhanger. And I do wish you all an excellent evening. Do not, however, despair. This is not our only show, sorry. I will get there. This is not our only show. We do have other shows that are being run throughout the week. Some of them are on a slight, I won't say a hiatus, but slightly less frequent than usual. Mostly due to IRL constraints, but we should be resuming the regular schedule as the weather gets a little more permissible. The heat wave was really harsh to deal with. But on Mondays, we do have Destiny Forge that is run by Rojan. On Tuesdays, you have me with Tales of the Outer Rim. Then on alternating Thursdays, you've got our Mass Effect 5e show that is being run by Zoro here. And then on the alternating Thursdays, you have the show that is currently being run by Rojan called Tricorn Isles, which is our chaotic, was once our pirate campaign D&D that kind of became its own thing now at this point. On Saturdays, we have two sets of alternating shows on Saturdays. You have our Bridgerton-inspired show that is called The Downfall of Propriety, that is Propriety, run by Malls, and then Rojan runs the Withered Wastes show, which is on the other Saturday. And then in the evening, we have our V6, which is, I think, slated to start again next week, correct?
It is, yes.
Or is it the week after?
It should
Might be the week after.
This next week.
Oh, right, because we were supposed to have Daggerheart
Daggerheart this weekend. No, it's this weekend.
Oh, that is coming this weekend, and then so the week after, correct.
Yes.
So it's this particular week. Okay, yeah. So the week after we'll have V6. And of course our Daggerheart show, City of Redemption, which you will be getting an episode of this particular Saturday coming up. That being said, I believe that's all for us tonight. So thank you again, everybody, for tuning in. Sorry for the slightly abrupt end, but it is 11:30, and I am trying to get people back on a proper sleeping schedule. So thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks for more Tales of the Outer Rim.
I'm waving.
Bye-bye.